Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a brand new video from Dead Meat, the kill count for the 2007 movie 28 Weeks Later. Well, this movie came out about 5 years after its predecessor, 28 Days Later. So let's hop in and see just how many bodies were racked up after 28 weeks.
Tomorrow, Saturday, February 1st, is the 3rd annual Horror Royal Rumble over on our other channel, Dead Meat Presents. Come watch 30 custom-made horror characters duke it out in a wrestling ring until only one remains.
Oh, wow.
It premieres at
That's
3
a
p.m.
lot.
Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, over on Dead Meat Presents. See you there!
30 characters, damn.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at
Hey,
28
James.
Weeks Later, released in 2007. After 28 Days Later made over 10 times its budget, producers
Wow.
started zooming towards a sequel right away. It was initially pitched as a prequel called 29 Days Later, which would take place during the initial outbreak.
There was an idea that it was to take place in the 28 days between the original outbreak and when the first film started, and it was all going to be about a team of British Marines trying to rescue the Prime Minister and the Queen.
But the final concept
not
went in
bad.
the opposite direction, taking us many weeks after the outbreak to a clean, infection-free London. As the end of the first movie showed, people with the rage virus eventually starved to death. This sequel takes place after that's happened en masse, as London attempts to repopulate. Unlike the eerie isolation of the first
time to
film,
build.
Weeks features a whole-ass colony of survivors. Makes the movie a lot bigger, but to keep things grounded, it hones in and focuses on a family, one that may hold the genetic key to a rage cure. But of course, thanks to
yeah?
human error, it's not long before the rage virus is up and running again. Literally. After way
Oh,
more weeks
jeez.
of...
James, I got your family to safety like you asked, but
Zoran?
the infected, they're everywhere, man. You gotta let me in.
Zoran? Is that you, man? You haven't
What
been
is he talk-
infected,
whoa.
have you?
What? No, I mean, I have a bit of a sore throat, but that's, probably just from overworking my voice. Plus, I haven't had time to find a doctor near my new house.
Ah, well then sounds like you need today's sponsor, ZocDoc. After way more weeks of practice, can the infected score more kills? Let's find out and get to them.
Alright, let's go.
The movie begins with dinner prep for candlelit pasta paired with the finest vintage vino.
You're in luck. Drinkable.
It's still early on during the rage virus, more like 5 to 6 days later than 28. Husband and wife Don and Alice are holed up in a cottage where they can't even kiss without getting interrupted. They're there with other survivors, elderly cottage owners Jeff and Sally, token grump Jacob, and Karen, who's gone totally Barbara since the recent death of her boyfriend. Doomsday dinner is interrupted by a knocking. Who's there?
Don, it's a kid.
Kid who? No, seriously, who's the kid? Don doesn't want to undo their barricading work, but eventually lets
Kid?
the boy inside. I love the reveal that this dark, dingy scene has been taking place in the middle of the day. That's just how good they are at barricading. The hungry pasta
Ooh.
muncher makes himself at home as, wait a minute, I know that little pants pisser. Don begins
Oh.
to question if it was a good idea to let him in.
Sam.
I'm gonna go with no. The housewarming party gets started with four-armed devours.
Oh,
Karen's
damn.
pulled outside for some ramen. By the time Jacob pulls her back, she's already rageful. She nearly pukes
Wow.
on Jake, but Don saves him by bashing her head in with a crowbar. Ah, great. Now that grout is a biohazard. More infected pour into the house as Don fights them off, giving the other survivors a chance to escape. Alice and the kid
Man, this is the start of the movie, but it's already so much.
get
Oof.
separated and head upstairs, while everyone else makes it to a barn. Jeff fails to Hodor and is overcome by the wave of infected. Jacob makes it up to a loft, but Sally takes too long mourning her husband and joins him as a result. Just as a reminder, within this franchise, we don't count infections as kills. A person who contracts the rage virus isn't technically dead and could theoretically be cured one day. It's different than zombie movies where a person dies to become a zombie. Because remember, the
Right.
infected aren't zombies.
A lot of people call them zombies, but they're infected. But
yeah.
fine,
There's
call them
a
zombies, I don't care.
difference.
But hey, Hawkeye says you can still call him that. Don manages to crowbar one intruder to death, but
Hawkeye?
he can't stop the onslaught of rabid ragers. He heads upstairs to get Alice, but his Braveheart wife refuses to leave the stranger boy behind. Puts Don between the rage and a hard place.
Don! Help us!
Oh, holy shit, he does not! Instead, he hardcore parkours the fuck out of there. Damn, Don, dude, that was your wife.
That is
And
cold.
some kid. As a reprise of the kick-ass In the House in a Heartbeat plays, the house gets overrun behind him. Not even NECA-vision can make Don look back. He is hell-bent on surviving. This epic opening scene is what everyone remembers
Wow,
about
that's a
this
lot of
movie,
them.
and no wonder. It kicks ass. It was partly shot by Danny Boyle, director of the first film, but his work was mostly second unit. He was too busy with Sunshine to direct the whole movie, so he recommended commercial director
Sunshine.
Juan Carlos
Huh.
Fresnadillo, based on his debut feature Intacto. It was the Spanish director's first English-language film.
Why me? I'm not Londoner,
Oh,
I'm not English,
that's cool.
I don't know the city. But they were looking for somebody who introduced, a kind of fresh vision in the concept.
That fresh vision
That
had
makes
assistance
sense.
from OG writer Alex Garland, who helped with rewrites and on-set dialogue changes. Don makes it to the dock where Jacob's getting ready to cut loose. He hijacks his pleasure cruise and sorta kinda condemns him to death.
Oh,
Classic
jeez.
Don. Jacob must have swapped spit with a mare zombie because he gets infected. So Don turns his old chum into new chum using the outboard motor. As he gets
Oh,
away, Don's
that's
left
terrible.
saying what we're all thinking.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I love how intense this
Someone's
opening
oh
scene
shit.
is. It perfectly demonstrates how fast things can go from quiet dinner to full-on shitstorm when you're up against the rage virus. A series of time jumps catches us up to the current day. The infection have been started out,
here
and
we go.
NATO has moved into the UK, led by American military forces. Mainland Britain's now virus-free, so we'll count all the infected folk we saw in the cold open as having died from starvation. That includes Jeff,
Good,
Sally,
good.
Death Kid, and 31 rage zombies. Yep, had to count each of those bastards individually. This is gonna be one of
Ooh,
those.
that's difficult.
The people of London are attempting to rebuild their city now that it's been title card. London at
Title
large still
card.
needs a few Lysol wipes, but NATO's set up a nice little timeshare on the Isle of Dogs, which isn't actually an island. It's a peninsula on the River Thames,
Oh.
and also a Wes Anderson film. Refugees
Why is it called the Isle then? Why is it called the Isle of Dogs, period?
have started returning to the city with the latest batch including Andy and Tammy. They're Don and Alice's kids, who were in Spain on a field trip when the virus broke out back home. Thank God they sold enough Yankee candles. The kids and everyone else arriving have to live in District 1, aka the Green Zone, a sonic-sounding protected area they learn about on a tram tour.
We have hot and cold running water, 24-hour electricity, a medical center, a supermarket, and even a pub.
Hey kid, pay attention.
Pub?
He's about to do a funny bit with
okay.
Fallon on the TV. The Green Zone is played by Canary Wharf, a building complex on the Isle of Dogs that's part of London's Central Business District. Fresnadillo
Oh.
shot for 9 weeks in the UK's capital, shooting mostly in the city and East London, with a week in Hertfordshire for the opening cottage scene. I'm probably saying that wrong, sorry. Andy and
Yeah,
Tammy
there's a
are the
chance.
first ever children to be admitted into the Green Zone. It's an unwelcome surprise for Chief Medical Officer Scarlett.
No one
Welcome
told
back.
me that we're now admitting children.
They're so sticky! The issue is swept aside by her no-nonsense boss, General Stone, who says they can handle any virus resurgence.
If it comes back, we kill it. Code red.
Scarlett is played by Rose Byrne,
would make
who
sense.
horror fans know from the Insidious franchise,
Oh,
but who is
kick-ass.
also an incredible comedic actress. Look no further than Spy and Get Him to the Greek.
I'm talking about my asshole.
Stone is, of
Okay,
course, Idris
that
Elba,
was
a
just-
British actor
Oh, that was blunter than a baseball bat.
playing an American general in a British film. Makes sense of that. He was previously seen on the kill count in Prometheus. The passengers
Ooh,
disembark
good
in
movie.
the city, where Don train spots his kids for a tearful reunion. He's done well for himself since his divorce. He's become this place's station officer.
This is AAA, access all areas. That's me. I basically run the place, you know?
Damn, he's got a sweet
Very
gig,
nice.
a literal suite to live in, and he never has to think about that time he abandoned his wife to die.
What happened, Dad? To Mom?
People broke in.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Don mostly tells the truth, but lies and says he saw actual biting take place. Doesn't mention the whole running away thing either. So
I would just simply say, hey, we were hiding in the closet. They broke in. And I tried what I could to distract them, but they still got her. Well, I mean, technically that wouldn't be a complete lie. He had a choice to distract them. He just failed to distract them.
much bullshit, his wife interrupts the movie to complain.
Ta-da!
Tried to go back.
But, you know, kids are dumb, so they fall for it. Good job, Don. Smooth sailing, as long as you don't have a breakdown or anything. Keep it together, man. The Americans are swinging their big sticks around to keep peace in the green zone. They've got a team of 24/7 rooftop snipers, which includes Jeremy Renner as Sergeant Doyle. It's a thankless job, but they keep themselves entertained.
Fat guy, jerking off in the toilet.
Bug nuts. Him again. I saw him yesterday.
Doyle also lets
gross.
off steam by jump scaring his friends, like helicopter pilot Flynn. Flynn's played by Harold Perrineau, current star of From and previous Father of the Year in Lost. Doyle, the
Hey,
sniping Tom, keeps
that's
a
cool.
very watchful eye over the city. Ooh, and is that
Nice.
Cupid kids' crosshairs I'm seeing? With that kind of vigilance protecting them, Don's kids sleep tight and don't let any bed bugs or rage-infected folk bite. Still, they miss their mom. Andy's afraid he'll forget what she looks like. Yeah, probably.
Shouldn't that be a
She's
picture?
ripping her face off in his dreams. Tammy decides to assuage his fears by plotting to get a picture of her. At first light, they go all Metal Gear Solid to sneak out of the safe zone and tee-hee their way into danger. They're
No, seriously, shouldn't it just be that simple? Just ask for a picture of her? Well, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of picture on a governmental website that you could print off.
busy living in
Ta-da.
Indian dramedy to
Kind of
even
easy.
care if they get sniped. They find a crashed moped to really shore up the whimsy. Tammy nabs the keys from a bastard Skelly delivery boy. Here, brother, put on this dead man's helmet and let's go! The kids have
Goose.
a wistful journey
Oh,
back
no, that
home
was a
free of
swan, wasn't
traffic
it?
lights, looking like Harry and Lloyd on their way to Colorado. For these shots of a decimated London, production designer Mark Tildelsley took inspiration from photos of real-life disasters, like Hurricane Katrina and the London Blitz. The kids
Ooh.
find their old house exactly
were
how
good.
they left it. Spare key in the garden, photos on the fridge, and springy death trap out back.
Oh, no, that's
Their
perfect.
trampoline is just like mine from when I was a kid. No safety net or even a cover over the springs. Mine also had like a foot-sized hole in it. Made backyard wrestling extra dangerous. Aw, look at 12-year-old. While bouncing, Andy sees movement in the creepiest room of the house and decides to check it out all alone. He finds crosses on the wall, maggots on the table, and a feral woman in the corner. Oh shit, wait a minute, that's a feral mom!
I knew it.
Wait,
Have been living
she's
like
alive?
meat and aliens. Mama Alice has forgotten uninfected etiquette, so she hugs Andy a bit too hard. It sends him fleeing to a heavily armed hazmat team that just showed up. They take her back to District 1 for a screamy, steamy shower and some medical testing.
Yeah,
The
with
kids
hug.
are similarly quarantined until Daddy Don is informed.
We found your kids.
Awesome! Cheers all around!
We found your wife, too.
Oh, that's super. That's great.
Oh, crap.
Seriously. As you might expect, his kids aren't
alright.
thrilled about being lied to.
You said you saw her die.
Don says he didn't use those exact words, which, you know, is true, but like I said, kids are dumb. They don't care if you're technically correct. But science backs up the
mean,
Donster. Alice
you know.
was bitten and really should be dead.
There's no question, sir. She has the virus. She's infected.
As it turns out, she is infected, but she's immune to its effects. She's an asymptomatic carrier, someone who has a disease and can spread it, even though they personally don't suffer from any symptoms. Scarlett believes that
Okay, so that is definitely something good. Keep her husband away, though. I have a feeling he's gonna be the dumbass.
Alice's genes might help them develop a cure. Alice and Andy's genes, actually. They both have heterochromia, an inherited trait that gives you different colored eyes. General Stone is like, sure, nerd, do whatever tests you need to. But they
You may try.
probably should have protected this potential scientific miracle a little bit more. Because in waltzes Donnie Come Lately, abusing his clearance level to visit his
called
wife.
it.
He may be a coward
Dumbass.
sometimes, but Don's given a lot of humanity thanks to Scottish actor Robert Carlyle.
I'm so sorry. I'm scared.
You old cowboy.
Against all odds, Alice forgives Don for letting her die, and they reconcile by
No,
swapping
you
spit.
idiot!
It's a sweet moment, or rather, it would be if this virus wasn't transmitted through body fluids. And there's a lot of fluids being transmitted
Oh.
like this. This is the worst
Fucking idiot.
personality of all time. Don hulks out around the hygienic honeymoon suite, and it is honestly horrifying. Dude does the hereditary head bash and attacks his wife in one of the most uncomfortable
Oh,
kills
no.
I've ever seen. Feels a bit too much like domestic abuse, him punching her in the face like that. Then he bites her neck. The infected are a lot more violent in this one. I don't know why. Don ultimately kills Alice by giving her the old Jimbo special, which I guess is tradition now. Hope they keep the gouging going in 28 years later. Don escapes and continues his makeout spree with a couple of soldiers outside. Neither of them get back up, so we'll go ahead and count these as fatal hickeys. General Stone immediately initiates Baja Blast protocol, and the kids end up stuck in quarantine.
Everything's fine. Don't worry. I'll be back in a moment.
Ah, man, never say
Yeah, just by those flashing lights, you're gonna die and be banging on the glass. I give it 5 minutes.
you'll be right back, because you won't be back. I mean, at least not as a human. Luckily, good neighbor Scarlett lands
I called it.
before he can cause any minor damage. She leads the kids past the chaos and another dead soldier she presumably domed with extreme prejudice. But she's no match for a mosh, so Andy gets swept away to a demonic stairwell. He finds
Crap.
himself in an underground parking garage getting locked in with the other panicked evacuees. And just when he finds the perfect corner to sulk in, lockdown procedures turn out most of the lights and something starts bumping in the dark.
Oh no.
I don't know, maybe NATO sent some pizzas down there? Nope, It's just that damn undeadbeat Dan again. Hector Carlisle's no
Crap.
stranger to people eating since he was a cannibal in 1999's Ravenous, which we covered on the podcast. He'd already worked with Boyle
okay.
on Trainspotting and turned down the role of Major West in 28 Days Later. What sold him on the sequel was the family unit and Fresnadillo's emphasis on the inner lives of the infected. Not that they were easy to play.
Playing an infected person was, I wasn't really looking forward to it, to be honest, because I know that it's difficult, you know, with contact lenses and covered in blood and stuff like that, so you're kind of aware that from the outside that it looks great, you know, but when you're actually doing it, it's hard work, you know.
Yeah, it's not just as simple as making zombie noises, Rose. I still love you,
it's
Rose. But he
thankfully
works
not that
overtime,
simple.
turning the garage into a blood rave that would make Blade red with envy. Thank fucking Christ we're not counting infections. They made this as
Thank
hectic
goodness.
as possible with those flashing lights. Andy climbs into the nearest air duct so he doesn't die hard and waits out the worst of it. As the fresh brewed zombies and remaining humans breach containment, NATO forces try to
you
target the
idiots.
infected needles in the haystack. The bullets find their first victim and officially get this repocalypse started.
Quick question. Wouldn't the easiest way of just taking this all out would be, a flamethrower? All these people just straight running at you, just, and then anything else that runs through would also get cooked. I mean, hello?
Doyle and the other snipers
That's just
start
me, though.
playing
I like
Spy
file.
Party. It gets very hard, very fast. Still, doesn't stop them from knocking off 8 infected in the initial charge. All that practice invading privacy paid off, boys. Good work. Unfortunately, things quickly go foobar, and Stone decides to let loose with the collateral damage.
Shoot everything. Targets are now free.
Uh-oh.
We've lost control.
Damn, dude, they haven't even reloaded yet. Gotta ease them into the war crimes, my man. Scarlett and Tammy manage to find cover, but when Andy finally gizmos his way to freedom, in the house in a heartbeat
drop in.
starts up again. Historically, not a good sign. Sure enough, the snipers start raining hot lead on the crowd below.
Rooftop units, target everyone at ground level. No exceptions. Repeat, no exceptions.
In a
Everyone
sequence that's
drops.
more disturbing than any of the blood puke stuff, the snipers gun down 14 unarmed civilians. Literally in one guy's case. It is honestly sickening to watch. This highly effective sequence is no doubt informed by when this movie was made. Awash in the war on terror and the Bush regime's fight against global terrorism. Stone's perspective is one of utility. Is it worth killing 15,000 to potentially save the population of the world? I don't know, but it gives 28 weeks later a different sense of doom than its predecessor. Doyle has had a
he's
major
right.
moral crisis, especially when he gets
There's not a whole lot I can say. I can just nod and agree.
Andy in his sights. So instead, he pops an attacking Rager, slathering the kid in bad blood. Don't get that in your mouth, little buddy. Doyle nabs a sadder kill when he mercy murders his buddy who's getting ravaged by the infected on another rooftop. A wide shot of the carnage gives us 54 more bodies to add to the count, not including the collateral we've already counted. I think anyway. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on down there.
Yeah.
Really wish Doyle would.
I would probably just count everything that I would count everything that's shown though, and then just take away what you've already counted.
Scope in for a better look, but he's officially decided to get the fuck out of Dodge. Amidst the chaos, Andy joins a group of survivors hiding in a nearby warehouse. They thankfully include his sister, and also that lady he just met. He lets Tammy know their father won't be joining them, which is a bummer. Honestly, this whole place is like the capital of Bummersville. Luckily, Doyle
100%.
shows up and offers to take along anyone who wants to escape with him.
Why aren't you at your post?
Aren't you?
Hey, you two. Save the sparks for the company Christmas party. He leads Scarlett, the kids, and some other meatbags on a nighttime trek out of the green zone. This nocturnal mission was shot day for night, like a lot of the first film. It helped the city look more abandoned, since the real London had all its lights on at night. You can spot some untreated footage in the original trailer. It's one of many ways cinematographer Enrique
that's
Chediak
useful.
tried to maintain the grit of 28 Days Later, even though their cameras were a lot sleeker this time.
Enrique did a lot of handheld. I mean, he got beat up every day. Blood always on the camera. It's always covered in plastic and right in the thick of things.
Doyle calls on his eye-in-the-sky Flynn for a traffic report, and it is looking like quite the jam down there.
The air cab, they just got their orders. They're firebombing all of District 1.
Oh no, someone saved Jack Quaid! Flynn tells Doyle he only has 4 minutes and directs him to a pickup point outside the city. Only problem is, some of Doyle's co-workers are still clocked in. A hail of sniper fire kills 2 of the red shirts, while the rest of the group takes cover. Scarlett takes a hit to the leg. Scarlett, you're turning Scarlet, Scarlett! With time ticking away, Doyle tries to use a less important character as a distraction. This guy named, Sam? Yeah, this guy named Sam. Sam's none too keen to go for it without any plot armor, so Andy saves the guy from a kill count graphic and rope-a-dopes the gunfire himself. It gives Doyle the opening to kill his colleague with a single shot. Damn, good thing the best sniper in the green zone is the one who's quiet quitting. The survivors head underground as the military starts firebombing the city. Really stretching our limits here, but we'll add 44 kills to the count, as infected and survivors alike are roasted in the flames.
Yeah, that's always going to be hard to tell.
Should I be counting all these zombies? Because even the overcooked ones still have some bite left in them. And don't get at me about how they mentioned 15,000 people in the green zone earlier, because we can't say all of them were killed here. Consider Don. He stays untoasted, unlike his home memories. He's not the only one either. A really weird slide transition. Seriously, what the fuck is happening?
Very
reveals
weird.
that hordes of the infected have managed to escape into London. For the firebombing, Fresnadillo envisioned the napalm flowing through the city streets like water. Less wall of fire like Independence Day, and more like the flooding in The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, that's a
to achieve
good
the
movie.
effect, special effects supervisor Richard Conway built quarter-scale miniatures of the city. They set them at 90 degrees and burned them vertically to create the illusion of flowing fire. That footage was then combined with aerial plates and blue screen footage of stuntmen by visual effects supervisor Sean Matheson. A fireball nearly cuts the movie short, but our heroes make it out unharmed. They take refuge at an extremely British carnival, where Scarlett and Doyle get a chance to debrief. She tells him that Andy's genes might hold the cure for the rage virus. He tells her how much he misses his favorite store.
It's not a target anymore.
Flynn interrupts their budding situationship to let him know they've got an incoming infected horde. He takes the helicopter to a nearby farm to pick him up, but he's only expecting a party of one and refuses to honor companion certificates. He's okay with a little light treason for a friend, sure, but not these randos. As they negotiate, Sam panics and finally makes a name for himself by hopping on Choppa and fucking everything up. The commotion attracts the nearby infected, forcing Flynn to take drastic measures.
Oh, wait, this is gonna be that
aerial
scene?
maneuver. Flynn uses the chopper to blend up 54 members of the approaching horde.
Yes,
Red versus
it
blue.
is.
This doesn't seem physically possible, but who cares? Look at all that infected viscera fly. A lot of this group kill had a practical base to it. Tons of wires, pyrotechnics, and literal tomato juice. I love it. Fresnadillo wanted the sequels infected to have more guts, and the same animalistic rage as the first film's chained up private mailer. They brought on movement specialist Paul Casey, who had played an infected in 28 Days Later. Following that film's lead, Casey auditioned performers with movement backgrounds like gymnasts, dancers, mimes, and circus performers. They ended up with a batch of 60 who attended an infected movement workshop run by Casey. It makes them scary and interesting to watch, even if Doyle can still one-shot a couple infected while they're running away. He's just that good. Impressively, Sam's been holding out this whole time, but now he finally falls to his death. You know, this movie's kind of mean. Doyle, who, like Sam, is also trying to...
you know, I guess you could say the movie itself is infected with rage.
survive, kills 4 zombies with only 3 shots. Where'd that magic bullet come from, man? Share with the class? Flynn tells Doyle to ditch those zombies and link up with the helo at Wembley Stadium, so our group gets back to limping again. They don't make it far before NATO nerve gasses the city, forcing them to recreate the ending of The Mist, or at least most of it. They shut off the AC faster than a dad on a road trip, keeping them safe from the Febrezing outside. The infected are not as lucky, and quickly succumb to the gas. Uh-oh, except for that one. Oh, nope, never mind.
And she goes.
Thank God it's all over, though. I mean, what's the worst that could happen now? Oh, shit. Ghost pirates with flamethrowers. They're here to...
Okay, now it's a lot more like the ending of The Mist. Just, less, innocent muddled people in the car.
Double torch any survivors, so it's pretty bad timing that the car won't start. Someone needs to get out to push it, so Doyle volunteers. He steps out and manages to give the car a boost before going down in a blaze of glory.
Damn.
Roast in peace, buddy. Roast in peace. Scarlett puts the pedal to the metal and Tokyo
Rest in peace,
drifts
brother.
away. They're spotted by an even less friendly chopper pilot than Flynn, but Scarlett manages to outdrive the bullet storm and take him to the London Underground. Instead of simply Tony Hawking the car down the escalators, Scarlett leads the kids on foot with Doyle's thermal scope. Tons of bodies down here, but as you can see from behind the scenes footage, they're all just clothes and bastard scallies, meaning I don't need to count them. Scarlett helps the kids avoid the remains with a game of red light, green light.
Nice and slow. Slower.
Yeah, they have fun here. Despite her directions, Tammy makes a boneheaded move and tumbles down the stairs with her brother. Scarlett finds her, but not Andy, and while looking for him, they run into Don, who has somehow managed to track them all the way across London. Damn, that is persistence. He proceeds to beat Scarlett to death with the rifle. Went all Hell House LLC there for a minute. He lets his daughter live to confirm the kill. Andy's wandering by his lonesome when he's cornered by the old dad. Tammy arrives in time to see him take a bite out of her bro. Good on
Oh,
actor
it's
Macintosh
painful.
Muggleton and his Harry Potter-ass name for one of the most painful screams I've ever heard. Because of the
Double
age
that.
and inexperience the part called for, he was the first actor cast.
We started with the kids, really, because they took the longest time, because you have to find them. A lot of searching in schools and stuff, and we found this great kid, Macintosh.
He gives Andy an authentic haunted quality, even before the zombies show up. Tammy arrives, and the disappointment in her eyes reminds Don so much of Alice, he gives up gnawing on Andy just to kill her, you know, for old time's sake. But Tammy proves she also
Thank you.
inherited her mom's guts by spilling her dad's all over the station with a gun. Tammy is
you.
played by a 17-year-old Imogen Poots, who would later be the festive final girl in the remake of Black Christmas. Fearing the
Oh,
worst, Andy tries
okay.
to get away from his sister before he turns.
Am I one of them?
But he's not only inherited his mother's eyes, but her immunity to symptoms too. Lucky them. Together, the siblings walk across
that's perfect.
post-apocalyptic London to Flynn's pickup spot at Wembley Stadium. They couldn't film at the real Wembley since it was undergoing renovations, so they shot this scene
Oh,
at
okay.
Millennium Stadium in Cardiff and digitally altered the footage. Flynn's not thrilled to
works.
be babysitting, but you know, what's he gonna do? Go home empty-handed? Then who will tell everyone about his sick helicopter skills? They fly over what's
That
left
was
of the
awesome.
burning city and out to sea, towards Europe, where everything is still a-okay. Haha, psych! And he must have forgotten to wash his hands after eating a baguette or something, because looks like Paris is ground zero too. This ending
Oh,
is great,
damn
but the movie
it.
originally ended with the peaceful footage of Flynn's abandoned chopper. Late in production, Fresnadillo decided that wasn't punchy enough. 2 days before final cut was due, they flew to Paris and shot the scene illegally with local actors, tacking it on just under the wire.
Oh,
Honestly,
okay.
great call. After all, a movie with this much death can't end that
That was
nice.
pretty good.
But how much death are we talking here? Let's find out and get to the...
Oh, come on.
Okay. Let's see, where am I?
Yeah!
Oh, bastard. Skelly.
Doesn't count.
Ah! Infected Zoran!
Oh, no, I'm not infected. I'm just sleeping.
Infected Zoran!
No, he's not infected. Oh, jeez, James.
237 people died in 28 weeks later.
Oh
the
my
victims
God.
consisting of 132 men, 38 women, and 67 who were running too fast to identify. The sequel outkilled the first movie by 59 bodies,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's still not enough to crack into the top 10 kill counts.
Ooh.
It comes in at number 12. Oh, Emesis Blue, you really blew up our show. With a runtime of 100 minutes, 28 weeks later had a kill
Oh,
on average
exact.
of 25.32 seconds. I'll give the golden
Nice.
chance
Oh, that's a
skill
lot.
to the chopping spree. It's like something you do with your toys as a kid, but with an actual helicopter and so much goop. The almost
Oh, yeah.
kill goes to the infected that got nerve gassed. I mean, I get that that's how it works, but when every other kill is pretty cool, just sort of passing out is boring by default.
Yeah,
That's
just
it. 28
coughing up
weeks
blood.
later was released in 2007 to solid reviews, but a lower box office than the original. We'll see how the franchise continues this year with 28 years later. Until next time,
Finally.
I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
Alright, everyone, before we finish this off, let's see what'll be on the docket for next week's.
Kill count.
Over here.
Ooh, it's another video game.
I don't want them to find us, but I wanted to tell
It's
you what the next
Outlast.
kill count is. Oh, I'm so excited because on Friday we are covering.
Oh, God! Oh, it's 2013's Outlast, a survival horror game known for turning streamers into screamers! You play as Miles Upshur, a journalist
Here we
investigating
go.
the abandoned Mount Massive Asylum. Oh, holy shit! Okay, turns out not nearly abandoned enough.
Oh, hey, it's the big guy.
But not yet. Once the site of secret experiments, this whole operation has gone down the drain.
Oh, yeah. Very down the
Now the
drain.
inmates are running the asylum. And they're not the only things being let loose. That's
Oh!
right. Dicks. Uncover government
I
conspiracies,
forgot about how naked they were.
enemies, and bodies. Just lots and lots of bodies.
You must be exhausted.
This is gonna be good.
Yes, I am. So make sure you have enough batteries for your camera while you play Outlast.
Will you see it? Can you?
Then on Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, find yourself a date.
I didn't want to have to do this to you.
Oh, God, no, not like that, please. Just use your night vision to make sure to see the kill count only on Dead.
Outlast can be played on the picture gaming platforms.
This is actually gonna be pretty cool, and I know it will be. Alright, everyone, that's gonna be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of you next time when we flick back on. Until then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.